Hey guys, this is TrendSpider University, video 105, backtesting. What is backtesting? Well, backtesting is getting a set of technical conditions that you like to look for, such as MACD crossovers, hammers forming on the 1 hour chart, above average volume within the last 3 candles, moving averages crossing, price going outside of a Bollinger Band and then back through it, and then looking for those conditions in the past, seeing if they would have resulted in profitable trades, and using that information to justify your next trades or look for your next setups. Now, there are some risks associated with backtesting. One thing that our backtester doesn't take into account is slippage. So when you get the condition met, we're assuming that you get a perfect execution on the order on your alert. The other thing that we assume is that there's no brokerage commissions and that the strategy tester is compounding over time. So basically, the strategy tester will assume that the wins or losses from your previous trade are going to be accounted for in your next trade. And then when backtesting, you guys, even if you get a really awesome backtest, always assume that you will do worse than your backtest in real life, because this is often the case, because it doesn't account for the conditions that I just mentioned. Backtesting. So let's go ahead and start backtesting some conditions that we'd like to look for. So I'll reset this backtest here, and let's go ahead and configure our scripts at the bottom of the screen. You've got a few options here. You can click script actions and load from your template library here. So we can load up a pre-made template from our script manager. For example, I could load up this crossover alert with the stochastic conditions, volume conditions. Let's go ahead and just do that. This is looking for the EMA crossing up and also RSI being greater than 50, stochastics being bullish, and volume being above the average within the last 3 candles. So we'll select that template. It's going to load those conditions into the bottom left-hand corner of my screen here. Now you've also got your exit conditions here on the right, and we'll go ahead and set up, since we're buying on the cross up, we can sell on the cross down. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll say TrendSpider sell on the indicator EMA 9, crossing down on our indicator EMA 20. Right? We could also add other conditions like 3 red candles, a doji forming on the 1 hour chart, above average volume. Again, you can script this just like you can script this left side here. You can also add other things like a number of candles past condition. So we could say exit after 30 candles if my exit condition hasn't been met and you don't want to be exposed in the market that long. You could also add a take profit level. You could also add a stop loss level. We could then change the time frames at which I want to backtest this strategy on. I can go from the 1 minute chart all the way up to the monthly chart. You can then say, how far back do I want to test this strategy? Up to 7,000 candles on this particular backtester. The chart itself stands for around 300 candles or so. We'll just do 2,000 for now. And then what do we want to trade what do we want to execute this trade at? The open, high, low, close, or any of these averages? We'll just do the close. We'll go ahead and hit test and see how we would have done on Google. And you can see here, and I'm reading this from the bottom left-hand corner of my screen, we analyzed 29 positions across a year of Google data, 2,000 candles with a mean trade return of 0.52%. So basically, on average, we had around a positive return of 0.52, which is not bad. But you will often find that you can see here this performance versus our buy and hold. That buying and holding was a little bit better because it's pretty hard to beat the market. And you can see here with our buy and hold, we would have made 35% on our money if I would have just bought and held Google over the last year. While trading it on this strategy, I would have made 15% on my money. And that's represented by this blue line here. You can also toggle where your positions were by clicking on positions, and it'll be highlighted on the Google chart or on this little line chart on this chart here. You've also got this distribution line at the bottom of our screen. you can see the amount of winning trades we had versus the amount of losing trades. You can, with percentages, you can see the max gain we had, 5.62%. With this distribution line, the dots on here represent trade returns or trades executed with the returnage on the distribution. You've got the average gain, average return, and what our average losing trade was like, with our max loss here on the left side as well. You've also got some of that same tabular data here on the right. You've got the market, right? Google 60-minute chart, a year of data analyzed. Net profit was around 15%. Asset performance for the year was 35%. What was our strategies? Beta versus the asset. So we had a lower beta, which is pretty good. Number of if you're risk adverse. Number of positions. Percentage gained was 52%. I'm sorry. The amount of winning trades we had was 52%. Losing trades 48%. That's a pretty good win-to-loss ratio there. Average win, average loss, average return. Now, you've also got this download CSV option, so you can click on one of these options and download an Excel sheet, and it's going to give you that an Excel of all 29 trades, entry date, entry price, exit date, exit price, the max drawdown on each trade, max gain on each trade, number of candles the trade lasted for. All that's going to be on the chart here. You've also got your price behavior explorer here on the left. So if I maximize this and I hover over one of these points on the chart here, it says mean percent change after 15 candles was positive 1%. So basically what this is saying is that for the positions that lasted this long, they generally averaged you a positive 1% return. Now keep in mind we only have 29 data points for this data, so it might not be very accurate, but for this example we'll just keep going with this. You can also see how many positions made it this far to this 15 candle mark. So if I click on number of positions here in the bottom left, it's going to add this white sloped line. And this white sloped line is our number of positions that are open at the time. So our exit condition is either number of candles passed, a stop loss, a take profit, or the EMA's crossing. So you can see we started out at 30, and then as time goes by, those exit conditions start to get hit, right? We hit our stop loss, we hit our take profit, we hit that crossover condition. And by the time we get to this 15 candle mark, we're at about 22 positions open at this time. Now, another good thing to look at is the median percent change. So you might have some outliers that are actually bringing this number up. And in this case, it seems to be pretty even. So that's a good thing. Now, sometimes you'll have the mean where the mean is actually like way above the median, and that means that we had some outliers pushing that mean up, that mean trade return up. But the mean and median in this case is very similar, so that's good. You've also got this cloud here around the line. This is the top 25th and 75th percentile of the trades open at the time. So we had some trades up here at 1.5 or 1.89% return. Down here around 0.32. You can also see the min-max range of these trades. So the total min-max range, you can see we had one trade all the way up here netting us a positive return of 3%, and some other trades down here netting us a loss of 1.6%. You've also got this random control line, which is this dotted white line right here along the bottom of my screen. This is a random bot that's buying and selling alongside your strategy. And what this is meant to simulate is someone just randomly buying and selling. So if your blue line and your purple line are not beating this this dotted white line, that's a sign that this probably isn't a great strategy. So that's the Price Behavior Explorer. Now you've also got this See on Chart option. So I can actually see on the chart when and where I would have entered and exited and why I would have exited. So you can see here, entry, exit, number of candles passed condition. We have a script condition here, number of candles passed. And I could keep scrolling back through the chart if I wanted to, just to see, on the chart here, how I would have done on each of these and exactly where and when I would have entered with the percent returned on that trade. And you can see here we hit our stop loss, etc. And I can keep clicking and dragging back and going further back in the chart. These arrows will stay on your screen, so to remove them, just right-click and hit Remove All Annotations or all execution marks, and they'll delete off your screen. Now, a cool thing with this is you can actually run a scan on TrendSpider and then backtest that scanner. So for example, if I just wanted to do like a random scanner here, like a bullish engulfing scan, and I wanted to backtest the symbols that I got back on this scanner, we'll run the scan here, and then we'll just run the backtester. Alright, so I can click on a ticker here and backtest that strategy on that ticker. So this combines the power of that backtester and the scanner we have all in one. So you can literally scan the market for your trade setups, and then see how well those trade setups would have done on that ticker real time, so you can make your trade decision with that much more confidence and move on to other tickers that might be a little bit more profitable with that backtesting feature. And then I could just down key on my arrow pad, TrendSpider will automatically take into account the new price action and do that backtest for me. So you can see on these two tickers, not too great. If I had my own custom watch list that I wanted to backtest, I just go to my watch list. If I want to backtest my gene therapy watch list and start backtesting these tickers here. Right? And I could just keep going. Click see on chart, see what I would have done. And let's say I find something that I actually want to get that does perform pretty well. For example, this ticker here, we netted 9% return over the year, and that was good enough for me. I could scroll down to my conditions here on the bottom of my chart, click alert me next time this happens, and then set the expiration, triggers, create the alert. It's down here in the bottom right. If I want to get alerted on the exit condition, just click alert me on this condition, set the expiration, triggers, create the alert, and it's going to alert me next time that happens, right? So that's the backtester, you guys, and that's how you can combine it with your scanners and your watch lists. Really awesome stuff. If you guys have any questions, please let us know, and you can always ask us in that contact us button. Take care, guys.